do it. Here's Brian and Beth Page. Brian, what's going on today?
Hey, gentlemen. How you doing?
Brian.
First time, long time. I just wanted to talk about the HBO show. I think that the whole blog thing, the guy who is the writer, his name, first name Buzz.
Buzz Bissinger.
We know who he is.
Yeah,
I mean Buzz or Will? Which one?
Oh, Buzz.
Oh,
Buzz Bissinger.
okay,
He's a best-selling author.
Yeah, all right. I think that part of the problem with, well, not the problem, but blogging has become such a fad because there's just a further disconnect in sports. I think that ESPN is a part of the problem, or networks like that. These guys are personalities now, and it allows the regular Joe to kind of, go on and have a forum to talk, It's
but there's a couple of problems with blogging, too, is that, A, there is no recourse.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
B, you're anonymous, and C, you are allowed to say, and you see,
anything you want.
On radio, you are still governed by the FCC.
Yeah.
On blogging, you are governed by no one, so you can say the most vile things in the world, and a lot of guys on the sites, whenever they knock somebody, they do it in a very vile fashion.
Okay, that's fair, Mike. But that's the internet in general. That's anonymity.
It's true, and
that's negative. That's bad.
And eventually that will change because the government will have to, in the years to come, will have to control the internet. There will be no way around it. They will have, just like they control radio and TV, they'll have to control the internet.
Right. Can I just tell one little story here? And it doesn't just apply to sports. I'm an avid music fan. Now, if you go online, let's just say Phil Lesh, who is a bass player for the Grateful Dead, and I'll try to connect this as best I can. All right, still has a rabid fan base. Now, the Grateful Dead are no longer around. Right. But he's got musicians that he still tours with. And Garcia, to a very vast, silent majority, is still a god. To many people.
We understand that.
Yeah.
Right. So Phil still has minions all over the web. He tells these young musicians that he brings along, one of the first rules is you can't go on the internet because you're going to get killed. I don't want you to see that, and it's just the internet in general. But these guys, I like Mike Wilbon, but he's now a TV personality. He's no longer.
Yeah, but you have to understand, guys who are of our age and are of our, say, even generation, okay?
Right.
They don't like that stuff because anytime you go on and read it, or you have someone who goes on and read it, hey, there are websites dedicated to this program, okay? And they're nasty. I mean, they're really nasty. Now, you can't have your kids go read that stuff. It's nasty stuff. I mean, and that's the problem is that even some is complimentary, but the nasty stuff is really nasty.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's why there's going to be a disconnect between the guys who are in our business, be it on TV, radio, print, and that younger generation that's blogging. Now, the only thing is anyone can blog, first of all, so you don't have to be hired, and you don't have to have any qualifications.
There's no credibility. There's no credibility.
It doesn't mean there's not talented guys in there, but also there's an anonymous level to it, and there's no qualifications, and but the biggest complaint you'll get is that it is incredibly nasty and vile. And it is nasty.
And that's why Buzz, fed right into it a little bit in his second segment. He was as nasty to Vetch as the blog is to everybody else.
He overdid it.
Yeah, he overdid it. He made it worse.
He should have been civil in his approach, and he wasn't. He was not civil at all.
I think he had fair points, and I agree with him. I wouldn't pay attention to that blog, but you can't make the other guy look like a martyr, and Will Vetch came out of there look like a martyr.
I mean, you can't let your kids... You can't let your kids read the blogs. You can't let them on the internet to read about their fathers. You can't let them on there to do that. The stuff's it's impossible. You can't not let them go near it.
3:30 Sports Radio 66.
WFAN New York.
Do that. And McEnroe.